What's going on, you guys? Right here, and welcome back to another video. So you guys, today we're going to be jumping into the balance changes that are going to be coming to the game once the update drops. So we're going to be jumping into every single thing. There's somewhat of a large list of changes, so we're going to be jumping into that right now. Alright, you guys, so jumping right into it. So let's start off with Dynamite. So Dynamite, this is going to sound a little bit different than what we're used to, but Dynamite got a little bit of a nerf. Let me read it to you. So super ability damage generates 17% less towards the next super. So this may sound a little bit different. It's going to be an ongoing trend throughout some of the other brawlers in the balance change. That it's not going to be their basic attack that is taking away from the super. It's going to be their super ability charging up their super. So let me explain. So Dynamite, before, when you were able to toss out your super and you would hit two other brawlers, it would give you your super all the way back. It would charge it up 100%. So Dynamite, it's going to take it away where his super isn't going to charge up his super as fast. And this is going to be the same for the next three brawlers. So Dynamite, a little bit of a nerf, but it's not going to change him a whole lot. His damage on his basic attack and his damage on his super are going to remain exactly the same. So next, jumping into Barley, the other lobber, Dynamite's best friend. So his super ability damage generates 33% less towards the next super. So this is even more than Dynamite, and it's the biggest nerf in the game. So I feel like Barley, you would get his super so fast. Once you get a super one time, I feel like you had a really good ability to get it again with your super. Chaining his super was somewhat easy. So they took away 33% of that, being that you can't charge up your super as fast with your super. Again, he's going to keep his damage and his basic attack damage and his super damage. So it's just a nerf to how fast he charges up his super. Now jumping into the next one is Brock, and it's the same thing. So super ability damage generates 25% less towards the next super. So I somewhat agree with this one, kind of the most out of the lobbers, just because Brock, I feel like, got his super so easily, and I feel like his super can be one of the most devastating in the game. So his ability to change supers can really make him quite a big of a threat compared to the rest of the other brawlers. So he doesn't get his super as fast anymore, but his damage on his base attack and his damage on his super are going to remain the same. So next, again with the same type of sort of nerf with Colt. So Colt's super ability damage generates 17% less towards his next super. So I feel like Colt kinda didn't need the nerf as much as the other three brawlers. Colt, though, I think Colt kind of made it into this category just because he was one of the forerunners of being one of the best brawlers in the game. He was really good in the last balance change. I don't see how the super didn't charge it that fast, just because normally you're just shooting at one other opponent. I did see that you would get your super somewhat pretty often, so I feel like I somewhat agree with what they changed with him. I just don't think it's going to be that crazy big of a change towards his gameplay compared to the other three. I just agree with it that he was really good in the last balance change, so he needed somewhat of a tweak. So I somewhat agree with that. So jumping into the next one, Pam got a buff, increased healing station healing from 320 to 400 per tick. So it sounds a little bit different. Guys, keep in mind that each brawler got a buff or a 400% damage and health increase to their character overall. So the damage, or the numbers of the damage and the healing, is going to be a little bit different. But I feel like it's just one of those things that's just going to take some time to get used to. So Pam, 320 to 400, I feel like this is going to really solidify her as that gem carrier on Smash and Grab. Also, I feel like this may help her get some more playability in some of the other game modes like Bounty. I feel like Pam was really stuck in Smash and Grab, so maybe we'll see her venture out into a little bit of a Brawl Ball scenario where the healing station will help being a goalie, or maybe Bounty helping keeping your team healed up. I'm not sure. I'm just really excited to see how Pam is being played. So jumping into the next two. So the next two, we'll start with Poco. The next two aren't really buffs or nerfs. They're just character changes. They're just overall making the character a little bit less bugged. So I feel like Poco, I don't know if you guys knew, but when you're smashing your attack and you have 3 shots loaded up, Did you ever have it where there was like a bug where one of your shots wouldn't land after shooting 3? So I've definitely noticed that, and they fixed that bug finally. So every single shot you hit, and if a brawler's within range, it's going to land. So I really like this. If you think about it, if you shoot out 3 shots, that's taking away 1 basic attack. So that really diminishes his damage output. So Poco definitely needed this. He didn't get a buff or a nerf, but I do see this in my eyes as being somewhat of a buff, just improving the character, tweaking on some bugs. So the next one is Crow. He also got a change to his super. It's not super crazy, not a nerf or a buff. I'd say it's more on the buff side, but Crow, his super jump has a new animation and is performed faster. So you guys know that when Crow used his super before, he would be stuck up in the air for the longest time, which would make it super easy to line up your shots with Piper or Brock or Colt. Some of the longer range brawlers had a really easy time lining up their shots and taking them out as soon as he lands. And if you think about it, his super is designed for getaway, so he can be super aggressive and jump out so that he doesn't have to take as much damage, or he can get really low but then retreat to safety. So I do agree with how Crow is changing. I like how it's a bit faster. It's going to increase his mobility somewhat a little bit more, but it is just going to be better for him. I feel like he has to be a bit quicker, and I feel like jumping over that wall, being able to be stuck up in the air, really kind of hindered him and his mobility. So Crow, a little bit of a tweak. Now the next 3 are actually buffs, you guys. So I was really looking forward to bringing this to you guys. Jesse's increased main attack damage from 640 to 720. So Jesse got a buff. The next one is Neeta as well. So let's jump over to Jesse. We'll explain Jesse for a little bit. So I do agree with Jesse. Jesse and Neeta were the 2 I feel like that got hit the most in the last balance change, just because they were super good the balance change before that. Because I feel like they had super good, and I feel like they're a little bit tough to balance with their extra dynamic to them. Jesse has that turret and Neeta has her bear, so I feel like it's a little bit difficult for the Brawl Stars team to balance, but they both got buffs because their playability in this last balance change are very, very small. I feel like Jesse had a little bit more compared to Neeta, but okay, so let's jump into, so I definitely agree with Jesse's change. She's just going to be doing a little bit more damage with her basic attack. So jumping into the next one, Neeta. So Neeta increased main attack damage from 640 to 680. So this may not sound like a whole lot, but if you guys remember, Neeta reloads her attacks super fast. She has the fastest reload time in the game, so I feel like the number doesn't seem like a lot, but her damage output is going to remain consistent with the other buffs in the game, just because Neeta reloads so fast. So I really agree with this one. I love Neeta so much, but it's hard to play with her when she is a little bit under tiered compared to the other brawlers. So jumping into the next one is my main man, Bo, guys. Believe it or not, they brought back the bounce, or the knockback, from the mine. So Bo now has pushback added to his mine. So beforehand, when he had 4 mines in a couple balance changes ago, he was super OP just because of that knockback and the extra mine. And then the next balance change after that, they totally took away so much from him, where they took away 1 mine and they took away the pushback. So people can walk right through the mines and just take damage, but they can slowly retreat out. Now again, Bo has the pushback, so I feel like that was the most devastating thing taken away from him, was the pushback. I feel like Bo's going to be really good right now. He might be one of the better brawlers in this balance change. I still think the Lobbers and Brock are still going to be kind of the forerunners, and Crow is still going to be super good even now, even more, just because of that. Super ability is going to make him a little bit more mobile, but I think Bo is going to be super fun, and I really want to see how good he is, and I'm excited to see how Jesse and Neeta are going to do as well. The 2 buffs coming to the game. I feel like they really needed it, and I really am excited to see how they do. So guys, that is every single balance change coming to the game. I hope you guys are pumped up. I cannot wait to get my hands on the game once it's after the update. I know you guys are excited as well. So with that being said, you guys, make sure if you did enjoy the video, leave a like on it. Really help me out. Also comment below on who you think is going to be the most OP in the next balance change. I really want to hear what you guys think. So with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.